Hi, Rudy. Thank you for joining tonight. This is our Go USA Get Out the Vote special. We're going to be talking to about 10 candidates, maybe more. We invited a bunch on. And the goal of tonight is so simple. We need to get out the vote. I think most people know who they want to vote for, and the vast majority want to vote for the pro-USA candidates. They might not know it, but hopefully by now they know exactly who they want to vote for. But they've got to get out if we're going to win and save this country. So I'm going to bring on Mary Caruso, my co-host.
Hello.
From the
Hi, JP.
The Go USA Opportunity Report. And we're bringing the show back on a regular basis sometime after the holiday. So we'll be talking about that. But right now we need to save the country. And we're going to be talking to candidates from all over the country, state reps, people running for state Senate, state rep positions, Secretary of State, Attorney General, and Congress throughout the United States. So get ready. We have to get this thing going and make sure people get out the vote.
Yes. This is what we worked so hard for, everything for this coming day. This is the beginning of almost a revolution, guys. I mean, I could tell that there's a lot of people who are much happier and have much more hope than we've had the past couple of years. And let's just remember, get out and vote, get out and vote. Don't take anything for granted.
You can't take anything for granted. We've been working for 2 years on this, and we have great candidates coming up. The first, we're going to be introducing Dean Tran, running for Congress in the Massachusetts 3rd District. Very winnable race. So, Dean, thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, John Paul and Mary, for having me with you.
Sure. Thank you. And thank you. First of all, thank you for running, because I did it myself 2 years ago. You've been in state office before. You know how tough it is to run, and in such a uphill battle in this state. The good news is, we'll talk about your score in a minute. But you're 80% of people across the board are on your side on the big issues. So,
they have to be. They have to be, John Paul. And just like you said a few minutes earlier, that we are in a situation where we have to take back our country, because our country is moving in the wrong direction. And this is the time that we need to, because we cannot have another 2 year of the Biden, Pelosi, and their regime.
That's right. We can't have 2 more years of that, and that's in the U.S. and on the U.S. level, and then of course on the state level, we haven't had a representative on the Republican side in this state in how long?
I think back in 1994, I believe Peter Bluth and there's another one, but I believe I think it might be way back further, 1992, 92, as I remember, because I was about to graduate from high school, and I know that was the last time we had a Republican U.S. representative. But right now, all 9 congressional seats are held by the Democrats, and like you said, it is a very tough to win in this state. It's an uphill, but I have proven, and I have a record of winning in this state as a Republican.
Yes, you do. I mean, you first of all, you have a track record as a Republican running on the state side and the state level, and tell us about your district and how it's one of the more winnable districts in the state. Is that right?
Yeah, it's one of the more purple district in the state, and also it's winnable for me is because a third of it is my state senatorial district, and I'm a former city, not only a city councilor, but a state senator. And just to give your viewers a quick insight into my background. Now, let me introduce myself first. My name is Dean Tran, and I am a husband and a father of 4. One is a teacher in the public school system here, and one at a prestigious college in Boston, and my other 2 are a young one in middle school and elementary school. And I served 4 years on the planning board, 6 terms on the city council as the first minority elected in the city, and the first Vietnamese American elected in the state. Then I served 2 terms in the state senate as the first minority elected in the district, the first Vietnamese American elected to the state legislature, and the first refugee and Asian-born American elected to the state senate. And John Paul, now I believe it or not, in 2022, I am the first Asian American to to be on a general ballot for the U.S. Congress in the state of Massachusetts. So it's a very exciting time.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Can you believe it? So it's a very exciting time, and I look forward to a victory after a very strong campaign that my staff and I have run.
Yes. Well, we are too, because
So do we.
Yeah, we people accuse us. You should see we put out lots of posts. We got tens of thousands of shares and probably over 1 million views on these scores. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you're biased." I'm like, we're not biased toward a party. You're the better candidate. You support the Constitution and the will of the people. It's that simple.
Well, it's not just it's not just the op score that's it's not just the op scores that separate my opponent and I. She and I are very, very completely different people. That includes our background and our political stances. I tell people I'm an immigrant. Your story is my story, and I'm running for the U.S. Congress because, like you and Mary, I fear that this country is becoming the communist country that my family and I fled from. John Paul, my opponent, and her Democrat colleagues have taken control of our money, our freedoms, and our life. And they literally destroyed our economy and the future of our children. So this country, and people should know this country is on a path, and they set this path to destruction. And we cannot afford to allow our country to become a third world country. And look at the gas price, the oil prices, the heating fuel prices. People are begging for help because they can't pay for their food, they can't pay for their living, and their expenses. That's not the future we want for our children, for our people, and that's not the country that we want.
No, it's not, and thank God you're fighting. You're fighting, and you're working. And I many people believe this is a very winnable race. I mean, honestly, I think any race in America right now is winnable for somebody that's standing up for the people. Can you give us? Can you give us three? Just give us 2 or 3 major points that you want to push. That you want to see. What do you think of the top 3 concerns? We've got Bob May backstage. We're going to pull Bob out. Maybe I'll have you and Bob here together for a moment, because Bob May's running in the 6th district against Seth Moulton, and you're running against the equally horrendous Lori Trahan. At least by her score, she's horrendous.
Yeah, look, my pitch is very simple, and it's very common sense, and it's something that's being shared by all conservative Republicans and independents, right? We just want to reduce inflation. We want to lower oil and gas prices. We want to put America first and not China and Russia. And we want to put Americans first and not politicians and illegal immigrants. We want to support public safety and law enforcement. And we want to protect parental rights and our constitutional freedoms. And John Paul, those are very easy. And when we do all that, we are going to make America safe again. We are going to have a strong economy again. We are going to build a future based on freedom. And we are going to hold the government accountable to the people. And that's very, very simple. And that's what we're going to do on November 8th.
Great. Well, we can't wait for that to happen. I know it's a big day tomorrow. So thank you. And, what you're talking about lines up perfectly with the philosophy that we have, is a nation for the people, by the people, as Abe Lincoln had said. And we are going to, take our country back and have you be a servant leader. You'd be a servant leader, not a dictator, tyrannical leader here with the people down here. You're serving people, and that's what it needs to be. And in my opinion, I think most Americans would agree. So good luck tomorrow. I'm gonna if you want to you can jet, but if you want to say hi, I'm gonna pull up Bob May right now, because Bob May is running for Congress. I know you guys know each other.
Thank you, Mary.
Hello, my friend.
Hey, Bob. Thank you for joining us tonight, and big night for both of you guys. The 3rd district in Massachusetts, for people that aren't that familiar, the 3rd district is you want to describe it, Dean? I mean, it covers Lowell, Massachusetts, and that kind of like Middlesex County area before Worcester, right?
Yeah, my 3rd congressional district ranges from Winchendon from the west down to Marlborough, the south, and all the way up to Methuen and Haverhill, and everything in between.
Great, great. So it's a big area. And then Bob's running in the district I ran for 2 years ago against the laughing stock of Congress, Seth Moulton.
Creepy. Seth Moulton.
Seth Moulton. I can't say one nice thing about that guy. Bob, can you just describe your district, and then we're going to have Bob talk. If you can talk about your race for a moment and give the viewers the reason why they need to vote for you tomorrow.
Sure. Well, first of all, hello, good night, everybody.
Hello, good night, everybody.
Night.
Oh my God, yes.
No,
I might get elected. God willing, he doesn't.
my friend, how
God.
are you? It's been the end of a very long road, huh?
Yeah, for real. Very long.
Very long.
Feels
But,
like it's never ending.
To answer your question, John Paul, my district is the 6th congressional district, and that starts at basically Saugus to the south, and it runs all the way up to the New Hampshire border. So at the border of Massachusetts and New Hampshire, you've got Salisbury, Amesbury, Newburyport, and Merrimack. So the eastern border is basically the Atlantic Ocean. So you got Rowley and Ipswich and Gloucester and Rockport, and then you come down to Salem and Lynn and Nahant. The western border isn't quite as well defined. It's a little bit jagged, and as you know, John Paul, Billerica was affected this year with some region.
Yes.
So it's the majority of Billerica, and then it kind of goes down to North Andover, cuts over to Bedford and Burlington, and then it stops around North Reading and Reading before it connects back over to Saugus. Yeah, so 39 cities and towns.
Okay.
When I ran for state rep, it was only 3 cities and towns. So I was literally running around all day today. It's amazing. People reach out to you saying, "Oh, Bob, I need a sign to hold out at my polling location." It's like, okay, well, it's 3:00 in the afternoon the day before the election. That would have been a great email to get about a week or two ago.
Yeah, this is typical voters. Well,
that's why I apologize. Like, the lighting is so crappy. I'm
you know what? Our goal is just to make sure you get the vote out.
Going to another event tonight after this. So this is like,
God bless you.
Until I put my head on my pillow tonight, and I'm sure it's the same with Dean.
Yes. So tell us, Bob. I'll give you the stage, and just speak for a couple minutes about why people should vote for you tomorrow, and make sure they vote, and why they need to vote for you tomorrow.
So let me back up a little bit, because I, in a lot of respects, John Paul, feel like I am going to try and take this over the finish line, a race that you started. You handed me the baton after you so valiantly ran for this seat 2 years ago. I can still remember when it was still kind of on the QT, but I said to you at your Christmas party, if you remember, "I'm thinking about taking this on. What do you think?" And you were like, "Oh, I'm in. Let's go." Right. And you wanted to announce it at your party. I said, "Oh, let's just keep it on the QT for now." So I'm hoping I can do you proud, my friend. We'll see tomorrow. I really expect that the red wave is going to wash over Massachusetts. That being said, I don't know. I got to temper my enthusiasm with 61 years living in this state and seeing the ridiculous things that the voters, some of the voters, not all of them, some of the voters in this.
I don't know what happened to the sound. Did we lose volume?
I can hear you.
There we go. I think Bob lost volume, but we're all.
And
Okay.
Mary, did you notice the something behind me on the wall?
What is that?
The word
Where is it? I see an award, but I can't see what it says.
hope.
Hope. Good, thank you. Okay.
Yes.
It's
Hopefully, hope we have to have hope. We're not going to do the Obama hope and whatever he said, hope and change, whatever. I can't even remember it just because I can't even
Yeah.
think about that guy.
We do need hope and change right now, though.
We need. I'm so glad you're running, and your points were perfect. Yeah, I think we had a little bit of technical difficulty with Bob for a moment there, but we thank you very much again for running. And in case you want to see your beautiful op score, there it is. So in case people have to remember, in addition to all your experience and all the things we talked about and how terrible Lori Trahan is, here it is. Here's her score.
Yep.
Yeah, I want to thank you, John Paul and Mary, for the things that you guys do, because you make it possible for candidates like myself and Bob May and others to bring visibility to our campaign. My campaign is actually running an ad with your op score there in our district, and we're doing very well. And yeah, and by the way, today's my birthday, so hopefully I get a great present tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday! You deserve it.
Happy birthday! Let's make a birthday present tomorrow when the voters elect you in Massachusetts here, when they're sick and tired of being sick and tired of the radical left and all the craziness being thrown at them. So really, really best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
And
if you guys have a minute tomorrow, stop by for a drink and celebrate with us. It's going to be in Lowell Tavern on the Square from 7:30 to midnight.
Okay. All right. Well,
nice.
I think I'll stop by there. I've got my rounds to a few different places up Massachusetts to New Hampshire and back down. I think that would be perfect timing at the end of the night as we wrap up the victory night tours that we hopefully will be seeing the victories tomorrow. Okay, so thank you, Dean, again for running, and we'll see you tomorrow at your event. And
thank you, Mary. Thank you, John Paul.
Dean.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh.
Okay.
John Paul, is it just me or all the?
No,
Sorry,
I'm
we
sorry.
have somebody else.
There's just Bob, but we lost Bob.
Oh, he's back. All right.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what happened. I think the problem was I used a VPN on my phone, and I think that may have interrupted the signal. I don't know. We'll see. I turned off the VPN, so we'll give it another go. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Great. Well, we're waiting for. We have. Let's see. Next up is going to be, I believe, Eric Adlin from Colorado will be joining us shortly. But until he joins, I would like to, Bob, just why don't you? We get kind of froze up there. What are the messages when you want to push out to your voters that why should they vote for you? Just give 2 or 3 big reasons why they should vote for you, that they need to go out to vote for you, because if they don't, what's going to happen?
You're starting to freeze in and out again. So let me just go as far as I can. So I got into the zoo of Massachusetts politics 2 years ago when I ran for state rep down here in Peabody. Now, at the time, Trump was up for re-election, right? And I saw everything that he was doing as being positive to the country. The economy was going great. We were on our way to securing our borders. We were on our way to being energy independent, right? So I saw 2020 election as consequential to the future of our country. Now, we all know what happened in 2020. After that loss to a Democrat, I decided to run for that seat again, but the state Democrats decided to gerrymander me out of the 13th Essex district that I was running. And rather than sit this one out, I decided to take this challenge on to run against Moulton. The point being, if 2020 was consequential, this election is existential, okay? We have to save our country by taking back the House and the Senate, but at least the House, and that's the little part that I'm trying to do for my state this year. Now, that being said, when I jumped on, I know you were asking Dean about when was the last time that his district.
I think it was 1996, right?
So when Tricia and I moved here to Peabody, there was a guy named Peter Torkelson who was the congressional representative. He was that was 92. All right. So it's been way more than 25 years since we've had a Republican from the North Shore. And I can tell you, I've lived on the North Shore my whole life. I've been educated here. I raised my family here. I started business here. The point is, everybody I've come in contact with, friends, neighbors, customers, suppliers, they're all of the like mind like we are, right? We're conservative constitutionalists. All we want to do is raise our families, get educated, enjoy life, mind our own business, and don't have anyone our business.
Okay, Bob. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're butting up against our next person coming on, Eric Adlin from Colorado. We wish you luck. I want you to beat the pants off that. I'm not going to be nice about it, but that guy Seth Moulton is a loser and he is a fraud and he has to go. He's terrible for our state. A lying loser. He stood right in front of both of us and said he debated me 2 years ago. He lied about it. That guy's a liar, a fraud, and he needs to be fired. So
brother,
please fire him.
Shot at tequila when I win, right?
All right. Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, buddy.
I'll see you, bud.
Thanks again for joining us.
Take
Good luck
care.
tomorrow. Get the vote out. All right, everybody. So that's great. Bob is fired up, and we have our next guest here. His name is Eric.
Hi,
Eric
JP.
Colorado 7. How are you?
Outside on a beautiful Colorado fall day. So we've been canvassing and making phone calls. We're pressing this grassroots campaign to the finish, and looking forward to winning it.
Good. Well, I love hearing that. And what do you feel is the vibe right now? I mean, it's everyone's so much on edge because there's talk about a big red wave, but then there's talk about the Democrats and closing in on the voter enthusiasm, the voter enthusiasm gap, and of course all the charges from the left about the end of democracy, which is insanity. They even say those words. They mean the end of the Democrat Party, right?
Exactly.
Is that what they mean? They're saying the end of the Democrat Party, not the end of democracy? I think that's what they mean.
Well, I hope that voters are discerning. I trust that they will be because everything's going wrong. We've got an economy off track. We have record inflation here in Colorado. We're leading the country in our inflation rate. We're also leading the nation in a lot of bad factors, like we're number 1 in the nation for auto theft. We're number 2 in the nation for fentanyl overdose deaths. We're number 1 in the nation for bank robberies. Denver's become the cocaine capital of the country. So voters can see the direct result of these failed progressive policies. And I think they're seeing through the absolute lies that the Democrats are spinning right now. And we've got all the wind at our backs. We're going to win this race. And we're going to win. There will be a red wave across the country. It is a little disconcerting that Republicans are holding on to their ballots here in Colorado at the last minute, but we're confident that they're going to be active like never before.
Well, that's one of my concerns is that all things being equal, only a small number of people are needed to, will throw off this race. And if people are like, oh, I'm going to wait till election day, but then, I got busy at work, but I'm just one vote, so no one's going to know. You know what I mean? If enough people do that and they wait till the day of, oh, it's raining outside or it's whatever, that could cost an election. So I'm all for voting on the day of election, but damn, make sure you better show up the day of the election.
Yes.
Get everybody out to vote. Get your dogs, your cats, your relatives, your dead relatives. I'm only joking, of course, but that's what the Democrats do, right? They'll get their dogs and cats, their dead relatives. They all go out to vote. I mean, if dead people can go out, don't miss a vote, and then that side, live people should make sure they don't miss it on election day and when they're on the Republican side, right?
Well, that's right. And we're seeing pretty low enthusiasm with numbers among Democrats, which is a good thing. They may not be able to vote Republican. They never want to do that, but they don't want to vote for the policies that are destroying this country. So we're very confident that Republicans are going to turn out. We're going to have great weather tomorrow. I've been eyeing it very closely, and I think we're going to have record turnout of Republicans and independents who are just fed up and want to change and want reasonable policies, want solutions to the economy, want solutions to the crime, want somebody who's going to actually represent them in Congress, not just be a rubber stamp for Biden or Pelosi.
Okay, great. So remind everybody, and I agree with you. And we're not partisan, but we're for America first and the Constitution and the will of the people. And your score, your op score reflected that, and the score of your opponent, Brittany Pedersen, horrible. I mean, I couldn't believe the stuff I was seeing about critical race theory. And I mean, she is a racist. She is a bigot. She is a Marxist. I mean, she is like all the worst things in one, but in a pretty face. Here's my pretty face, but I'm just this like this seething evil is coming out of her. That's what I saw.
Well, that's right. And it's amazing how Democrats project onto us exactly what they're doing. The racism, the bigotry, the divisiveness, the hatred, the desire to destroy our Constitution, to really, they want one party rule. They don't want a dialogue. They don't want to heal this country. but they blame us for everything. They fail to take accountability for any of the issues they've caused, though they've got all the power right now, and look what's going wrong. And so I think voters are going to discern that. They're going to come out in a wave, and they're going to elect not just Republicans, but candidates who have served their country like me, combat veterans who are doing this as a call of duty. And I'm very excited about the election tomorrow.
Great. Well, we are too, and we
Thank you for your service too.
We thank you for your service. Very importantly, there's a number of veterans that are on our program tonight. Actually, yes. We find veterans to be our favorite.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
So many great veterans that you serve in your country twice. Mm-hmm. You served on the front line, and now you're looking at serving it again. You know,
you guys make us feel safe.
Here's your score. Yeah, thank you again. You're going to have us feel safe again when you help us protect us in Congress. And your score again, very high score. And look at how you compare to Miss Peterson. I mean, negative 1.6 out of 5, and you're way up there. I mean, there's no comparison. We have the goods to prove it. And it was nice on Twitter and other social media. I saw people attacking and going back and forth, and great answers were coming out from your supporters, showing, hey, you're just working for the people. This is not some kind of biased score. It proves, and it really pisses off the left, but fine.
It's biased towards America. That's all we are.
And every one of us should be, and every elected official, if they're not biased towards America, we need to run them out of office and make sure they never get elected again. No politician, I mean, every politician is elected to serve this country and put it first. And it disgusts me that there are those who will serve their own agenda, serve special interests, or even serve countries hostile to us. It's time to run them out of office for good.
That's right. That's right. And the fact that we have American people that are running that actually hate our country, and they say it every day, and they call us racist, and all they want to do is divide us to get votes. They need to be run out they need to be run out the old-fashioned way. Put them on a horse and run them out of town. I mean, this is crazy. So please do it. We're hoping for you. I think it sounds like the polls are closing from the last time we talked. I'd love to see a big win tomorrow. We're for you. I can't wait I'll be following your race very closely. So good luck, and get that vote out. Get that vote out. Get that vote out.
Good luck, Eric.
Pleasure to be with you, and excited for tomorrow. We're going to win this.
So are we.
All right. Great. Good luck, man. Thanks, Eric, for joining.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay, great. So another great patriot, another veteran. We have another veteran coming up right now.
Here we go.
Here we go. So we're rolling. So we're just in Colorado. Now we're moving to Arizona. Moving to this great state of Arizona. We have Kelly Cooper on with us. Kelly, thank you for
Kelly.
How you guys doing?
Good. So you're running. Kelly Cooper is running for the 4th district, right? The 4th district in Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona's 4th district. Great district. It's 4 small towns, and they have been represented by a big city politician, and they're tired of it. Now, before we go too much further, tomorrow is election day, but 2 days later is also a holiday that most people don't know about. So for any of your viewers that are watching, happy birthday, Marines. Thursday, the 10th, is the Marine Corps birthday. And win or lose, I'm going to be down at one of my bars celebrating the birthday with my brothers and sisters on Thursday nights. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you for your service. Thank you
absolutely.
For your service to the Marines. And I'm a big fan because my great uncle Thomas Jefferson didn't start the Marines. He was kind of like the first big engagement was the battles in Tripoli, right? It's in the song.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Montezuma to Tripoli.
Yep.
So big fan of the Marines for many reasons. So thank you again. So remember, thank you for letting the audience know that. And so let's get this deal done. We scored. You and your opponent. You killed him. Obviously, he's another left-wing lunatic.
Yeah, it's kind of not hard to beat a socialist.
Yeah, he's a socialist, and he's
a radical psychopath. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, so we've seen that. It's just it's like a broken record, one after the other. These people. I ran against a guy named Seth Moulton in the 6th district of Massachusetts. I mean, that guy is. I mean, honestly, every person that served with him is disgusted. And he's a very rare thing that Marines don't stand up for Marines, but he is that bad. Gun grabber, all of it. It's terrible. But that's a rare thing I'm going to do is criticize a Marine. But he's an exception. So
we've got one in a race out here in Arizona that I'm not the greatest fan of either, and I hope that he does not win. And in most cases, Marines stick together. But in this time when we're supposed to be protecting America, it's time that we should be banding together and not splitting apart.
That's right. That's right. So why don't you tell Mary and I are curious. What can you tell us and the audience? We'd like to. The big thing is we want to get the vote out. So we're doing this to give you one the night before.
Yeah, so that's the key
for you.
Let's push.
Here
we go.
Here we go. We got to push, get people out to vote, because the worst thing ever is people not voting on election day. That will kill it. We have to make sure people go out and vote for you.
Yeah, so that's the whole point. Like, I spent all day today electioneering, being out, talking to people, organizing our volunteers to be out at the polling stations. We have 40 polling stations in the district. We will have volunteers, I believe, at every single one. And I'll start my day tomorrow at 6 a.m. and I'll hit every single polling station before they close tomorrow. And I think the choice is pretty clear. I mean, it's the same in every other race around there, or pretty close. But my guy has voted 100% with Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. He voted to withhold federal funds from our state if we didn't reinstitute a mask mandate while we were trying to get our kids back in school. He voted from a yacht in Utah while he was proxy voting. When he gives up his proxy vote, he gives it to California politicians. But he does commercials saying that he stands for Arizona's water rights. Now, the biggest challenge to Arizona water rights is California's wasteful use of water. And California represents 20% of Congress. If we're going to renegotiate the Lower Basin Compact and get a fairer result for the states outside of California, we have to have independent people that are going to fight for the state of Arizona or the other states in the Lower Basin. Now, this is a fight between somebody that 2 years ago had really no idea that I was going to be running for Congress at this point. I'm a business owner. I'm a Marine. I'm a father and a husband. And, the last 2 years really drove me to this point. But my opponent's for abortion up to the moment of birth. My opponent is for wasteful spending. My opponent's for open borders. I mean, he voted for $6 trillion in wasteful spending. He stood on the floor and blocked Title 42 from coming up for a conversation, thereby leaving the border exposed to Title 42 being removed. He says that he's for water rights. He says that, here's what he does. And this is true of a lot of Democrats right now in this cycle. They are out there marketing and advertising themselves as if they're conservatives. The question is, do our voters believe them? And some may be, but when you lay out the voting record and when you show that, in my case, Greg Stanton has voted 100% of the time with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, well, I think that tells you everything you got to know. I'm a guy that thinks we need to rein in wasteful spending. I think that we need to go back to energy independence, even energy dominance. I think we need to close our border. We need to take an all of the above approach to all of those things. We have $31 trillion in national debt. I mean, if I ran my businesses like that, I wouldn't have any businesses. We wouldn't be talking right now.
Right.
But you have many people in Congress that don't understand what a profit and loss statement are. They've never signed the front of a paycheck. I do over 100 every 2 weeks because I have 100 families that I'm reliable and responsible to. Wow. And the only way that can happen is if we have policies in this country that allow for small businesses to be successful. And that's one of the triggers for me. When they locked down the states and destroyed the supply chain, when they made sure that productivity was down. And we can say that, the beginning of that was COVID, and sure it was. Yep. But the ongoing policies of restriction and regulation that came on after that has continued to put us in this failing position. And now in Arizona at 13% inflation, highest in the nation, people at this point for the remainder of the year, based on the loss of income due to inflation, people are living on their credit cards for the remainder of the year. You can't live on the credit card, but that's what we're being forced to do. Yep. Now, my goal, my policies are to turn the engine of American economy back on, bring us energy independence, bring us wasteful spending in, lower regulation so we can get productivity going, close the border so that we can reduce that humanitarian crisis that's happening down there, encourage migration to come through the ports of entry so we know who these people are, so we know if there's a terrorist that's coming through. I mean, we've caught 100 in the past year, which is more than the last 5 years combined, but how many didn't we catch? And when does that other shoe drop? When do we have to pay the price for this administration turning a blind eye to the vulnerabilities and insecurities at our southern border? It is a mess. It's time for change. And in this district, we have the perfect opportunity to make that change. I think I'm well suited as an infantry Marine that's traveled the world. I've been to all of South and Central America. I've been to South Korea, Okinawa, Cuba. I'm a businessman that sweat equity my way to my first bit of ownership and have built multiple successful restaurants through the 2008 banking crash and through the COVID crash. I mean, you want somebody that understands economics. You want somebody that's going to understand security. You have that here. And your alternative choice is someone that just signs their vote up for other people, that agrees with Pelosi and says that, yeah, this is the way that we should go, when we all know it's not right. So and I will tell you that they've spent some time trying to make you believe that energy is coming down. So here in Arizona, gas prices have gone from $5.70 to $4.70. It's not because they've changed the problems. Yep. It's because they put a Band-Aid over it until after the election.
That's right.
It's time for us to see that and make sure we don't fall into that trap.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean, I think the viewers here agree. And man, we really need to see you get in. We really need to see
border states are so important in this race. It is win or lose. I mean, we cannot keep our border wide open anymore. We just can't afford it.
Every state is a border state, obviously, right?
They are now.
Yep.
Fentanyl's coming through, making it sure.
Yes, it is.
It's a border state now.
Killing us, killing Americans every day.
It's literally killing Americans. So we'll bring up and just to add a little more steam to your race. If people haven't seen this yet, and I know you've shared it before on Twitter and Facebook, but very strong score and almost about.
It's not as good as Eric's though. I like Eric. I've met him in DC a couple of times. Good man.
Well, yes. You know what? The thing is, when you get in Congress, you'll see. We're not going to talk about this yet, but it's going to be a live update every month. Every month, we constantly updated. So we're going to have watchers. So if you're a good guy like you're going to be like, you want to show your goods. The bad guys, we're going to expose them 24/7. Everybody in Congress. So
your score can go up. Yes.
But no matter what, look at that. I mean, you have a strong opportunity score. Look at Greg Stanton. He's a negative of 1.8 out of 5, which means he's working provably against the voters on issues. So
how can these people even run? Look at all of them. Everybody we've done so far is a -1. I mean, my God.
Yeah, there's very few Democrats that scored above a zero. It's not
because they're slick.
They're biased against the people.
Well, but they're slick. They come back here and they tell the people that they're for them, that they're working hard for them, that they're helping them. And a lot of people just don't look at the record. So that this scoring is hopefully going to help a lot of people see the truth. Because me preaching it, people dismiss. They're like, oh yeah, that's the opponent.
Of course.
Well, that's why one of the reasons why we created it is to have a system that makes it as simple as Rotten Tomatoes. Basically, it's like this is the will of the voter.
Yep, here it is.
So we're hoping it works. We're hoping it helps you. We're praying for victory. How are the polls look? Are they looking good right now? Did you do any? Are there any polls in your district?
Yeah. So we are doing internally. We haven't done an actual poll in about a month and a half. That put us in the margin of error. Over the last month and a half, though, we've worked very, very hard. So we have targeted 65,000 swing voters, so independents, soft Democrats, soft Republicans, and we've put a Get Out the Vote campaign over the last week. They are breaking hard our way. So we believe, based on that we're going to be up 3 to 5%. But it's Get Out the Vote. We're relying on everybody showing up tomorrow, and that's a scary place to be because if everybody shows up, we win in a lot of races, but especially mine. And we get to really move forward, making some positive change and bringing some stability back for the people. And that's all that people want.
Well, we're
that's all we want. Yep.
Thank you for your service once again. And we have another, and Mark Robertson is coming up next from the great state of Nevada, and another veteran. So
excellent. Well, listen, you guys, Semper Fi. God bless. I got to get back out on the trail. Thank you for doing this. Helping us get out the vote is amazing. We're going to get this done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll be in touch after. We'll celebrate.
Yes.
Okay.
Good luck, Kelly. We're behind you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, great. So another veteran, another great America First.
What a great guy, right?
What a great guy. He needs to get in. Common sense, right, Mary?
Border state, common sense. We just can't afford this anymore. We can't afford to keep our border closed. We can't afford to have people in office who do not care about America.
No,
it's
not
that
at
simple.
All. And we have another great candidate, Mark Robertson, running for the Nevada's 1st district. And Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining our show. We're hoping it helped the debate that we did against your invisible opponent, Dina Titus, who refused to debate you.
Well, thanks, John Paul. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate you doing this. I'm glad to be on tonight.
Well, thank you for joining. And I know you're busy on the trail getting the vote out. Right now, our focus is everything that we worked on and all the polling and all the hard work. And it won't mean anything if people don't go out and vote for you. So what do you want to tell your voters? We're doing this for you to help you close the deal in any way you can. So what would you like to say to the voters and, to get them out to go out and vote for you tomorrow?
Hey, there's a lot of enthusiasm here. I have an army of supporters out knocking on doors, even right now, and making phone calls. So it's our final push, and a lot of enthusiasm among Republicans in Southern Nevada. We're very optimistic. The polls are in our favor. Cook Political Report has me up by 10 percentage points, and Real Clear Politics has me up by 12. But we're not taking any of that for granted. We're out there working hard, and again, a lot of enthusiasm. We're pumped up. We're optimistic.
Good. That's great to hear. I mean, most races are much tighter than yours. We're talking to a lot of people that are like a hair. 1 point. Don Bulldog up here in New Hampshire is maybe a point. We see Oz in Pennsylvania. It looks like he's just barely getting ahead of a guy that he can't even speak. I mean, I can't figure out some of the politics in this country. Thank God people in your state are awake enough to understand how incredibly important it is that you win this race. When we start,
they are awake and they're motivated. Tomorrow is the final day, obviously, and the weather in Las Vegas is not supposed to be good. It's supposed to be cold and rainy. Las Vegas never gets cold and rainy, and so this will be a real test. I know the Republicans are going to show up. The Republicans are motivated. It may be a real test for the fortitude of the Democrats who've not yet voted. But the weather's in our favor. The weather favors the enthusiastic. Also, I think it's a good omen that even the moon is turning red tomorrow. It's going to be a red moon. So I think that's a good omen. Lots of reasons to be optimistic in Southern Nevada.
Good. That's great. What do you think are you concerned at all about, there's a lot of talk about, the drop boxes and all this stuff. I mean, I'm hoping I'm just not.
Here's the message. What the message shouldn't be worrying about that. The message should be go vote. If you don't vote, your vote will not count. So the best thing you can do is go vote. We'll make sure that we vote in numbers to exceed the margin of fraud. And
exactly.
That's what I was going to say is
that's how we have to do it.
Even if my feeling is, especially in the bluer states, like where there is like a built-in number of fraud, so you have to overcome it. So you have to vote extra hard.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about getting out the vote and people taking back their country. A lot of people talk about we're in dark times right now, but our nation's been in dark times before. I mean, you think of the Revolutionary War. General Washington lost most of his first battles. And we had this terrible time in Valley Forge, but that was followed by victory at Yorktown and the independence of our nation. If you look at the World War II, Pearl Harbor was a dark day, but it was followed by Normandy and D-Day and the liberation of France and winning World War II. We've seen dark times before. When Jimmy Carter was president, we had high gas prices. We had double-digit inflation. We had just a terrible economy, long lines at gas stations. That was a dark day, but it was followed by Ronald Reagan and a booming economy. So we've had dark days before, but America's always come through it. And we're going to do that again, starting now by taking back Congress.
Wonderful.
I love the enthusiasm.
Right, Mary?
Great. Right? I love it.
Is there anything you want to just any other final words you want to say? Like, what are 2 or 3 reasons why they need to vote for you specifically? What are the big issues we all probably know, like the economy and things? But do you want to say 2 or 3 things just to remind voters how critical it is that you get elected tomorrow?
Yeah. So I'll be accountable to the voters. I have deep ties to our district. My wife and I raised our family here. I owned a business in the district. I went to church, was a leader in my church, taught Little League and soccer and basketball. So deep ties to the community. And then 30 years of national service. I enlisted in the Army as a private and retired as a colonel. I served in the Pentagon. One of my last assignments, I taught at the National Defense University. I've also taught at UNLV. I have a degree in finance and an MBA. I know how the economy works. I know what causes inflation, and I know how to balance and budget. And finally, international experience. I during those 30 years in the Army, I deployed to 10 different foreign countries, including combat zones in Afghanistan, Kuwait, and Iraq. In fact, in Iraq, I served with my own son. So I will not be a typical freshman. I'll be able to represent the people of Nevada day one. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time to be part of this. And I've got hundreds of volunteers who are part of this. And I'm grateful to each one of those.
Great. Well, we're so excited for you, man. And it feels like having worked with you and done the video and learning about, I mean, I feel like I know you better. You know, I feel like I know you, and we need to get you in. So it sounds like it's going well. We're hoping that you win tomorrow, obviously, and anything, any way we can just convince people to go out to vote, regardless of the weather. Be tough, get the umbrella out, because every vote counts. Some votes, some elections are down to literally just a few dozen, and even the biggest races. So no one can be complacent and think their vote doesn't matter. So everyone, please go out and vote for Mark tomorrow. And we can't wait to hear the results. And we'll be in touch after. I'm going to be zipping around to different events tomorrow night. And I can't wait to hear I can't wait for this to be blown up for all the people like yourself. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thank you, John Paul. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate your support.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for your
Good
service,
luck.
man.
We're right behind you.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks again. Thanks for running. Oh, what an inspiration Mark is, huh?
Right.
It's really incredible. I mean,
it's the first time I'm feeling hopeful in 2 years, where I'm actually feeling good the night before something like, oh my God, we could possibly take our country back.
Yes. Yeah. It's like we could possibly do this. And
yeah. Right. This could possibly happen.
It could possibly happen, but we're going to keep saying like a broken record.
Yep.
You have to get out and vote. No excuses.
Do not put anything past the Democrats. Okay. Don't put anything past them, as we have seen in the past. Don't put anything past them. We have to go vote. We need triple the votes for one of their vote in any area that's a little shady.
That's right. Right. And by the way, it's not, as we say, it's not red versus blue. It's them versus you. We keep reminding viewers that it's not. It's not because we have a biased system. It's because our system is only biased toward America, and we have the goods to prove that these people are working against America and against the Constitution, the will of the people. And our next great candidate coming up is Lisa Mayer, running for state senate. I'm pulling Lisa right now, and Lisa's running as an independent. Just goes to show it's not only about Republicans now.
Exactly.
So who's going to serve? So Lisa's on with us. Lisa is running.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. This is so cool. So exciting. Well done.
Sure.
Thank you.
We're here. We're tying it up at the end after all the work. 250 races, over 500 candidates. And we're just so happy to hear that people are like doing well and leveraging some of the stuff we're doing. And we want to see how your race is going and why people should vote for you. How is your race going? And can you tell the audience your name and it's Lisa Mayer. I already said your name. And you're running.
We're excited.
It's super exciting. What's the specific name of your Senate district you're running? I don't have that in front of me.
So I'm running for the state Senate in Massachusetts for the 1st Worcester district.
Worcester. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll just mention the towns just in case anybody's on here that isn't aware, because a lot of people don't know what their district is. So it's Berlin, Boylston, West Boylston, Bolton, Northborough, and a big part of Worcester, which makes it a lot more interesting instead of just the small towns.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's a big area, actually. I mean, and so that's exciting. And tell us, I know we were talking, you were debating whether you're going to go in. I'm glad you jumped in, because we need you. We need to start, especially in the state Senate in Massachusetts. It's like anemic. Like there's nobody, all run by Democrats. I don't care if you're the spaghetti meatball party. We need to stop having one party rule in the state.
Yeah,
So,
there's 40 senators, and only 3 of them are Republicans, and the rest are Democrats. So yeah,
frightening.
really huge they're hugely outnumbered, and I think that especially after the last couple of years, it's urgent now that we bring some more balance into our state legislature here in Massachusetts, because it's bringing us down a dangerous path, actually, with their with their attacks on our freedoms, our liberties, the Constitution, and what they're doing to the kids in schools, all of it. You guys know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really horrifying how bad it is right now. And
you can't turn a blind eye to it anymore. You really can't.
No,
you just can't.
no.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, and so I'm running as a conservative independent, and I am one of the red-pilled ex-Democrats. So I wasn't a Democrat for most of my life, but I was for a short time. But when they started with defund the police, a couple of years back, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then the pandemic hit, and then they just it was too easy for them to take away our rights for something that was not an emergency for 99% of the population. So I became very concerned.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for fighting. And
Yeah.
I know we had talked and we had met about talking about medical freedom, and I know that's there's many other things that people are concerned about with the economy and gas prices and CRT in schools. But man, medical freedom, telling you what you're going to stick in your body,
right?
The evidence that's coming out now, and they're trying to bury the evidence of all the complications people are suffering from these forced jabs, and they're still forcing on people even now.
Right.
And we should forgive everybody. Don't forget.
Right. Amnesty, right? They're asking for it. No, they're not getting amnesty because they're not even admitting what they've done. And they're not stopping what they're doing. They're still doing it. My son's college still has a vaccine mandate. They know that kids get myocarditis from it, and it's not mild. It's a lifelong damage to the heart. So there's something very wrong with what's happening there. And I'm really concerned about it.
Yeah.
So
Fordham, it's the same thing. There's a lot of colleges that are still mandating it. They're mandating it so you could see your child graduate. You have to have a vaccine just to go see your child graduate from college that you paid how much for? $100,000 for. You're not allowed to go watch them.
My niece, MSU, Michigan State University, and she didn't want to get the jab, and they forced her, and then they had to get she had to get the booster, and she wouldn't do it, and they forced her. They said they should be kicked out of college if she didn't do it. She gave it. She never passed out in her life. She passed out right after getting it.
Oh my God!
She's better now, but this is just insanity.
Oh my God! Yeah, same thing at Fordham in New York. Yep, this is disgusting what they're doing.
So Lisa, why don't you tell the audience, the big goal is getting the vote out, and can you just say a couple words about why people need to vote for you? We know we all agree why people need to vote for you. Tell your voters like the 3 reasons, like say 3 or 4 reasons why they really need to vote for you tomorrow.
Well, all right. So like I said, we urgently need more balance in the state legislature, right here in Massachusetts. And I will be that person that will bring some more balance by representing more conservative views in our state legislature. And I'm authentic, and I have ethics, and I am not going to be bought off, and I'm going to stand up for our rights and for upholding our Constitution, like as the foundation of everything else, of every other decision that gets made or everything else that I try to do there, because I think that we are under attack in that regard. So that I'm standing up for health freedom. In addition, and improving our public health system. I'm standing up for small businesses because they are the backbone of our economy, and they have been decimated by capricious COVID mandates. And not only that, it was really difficult to run a small business here in Massachusetts anyway. So my husband and I are small business owners, and we really need to make Massachusetts more friendly, not only to help the economy, get people more jobs, and just to let more of us achieve the American dream. So there's that. And then I would like to stand up for education too. Education is near and dear to my heart. My family and I, we my siblings and I, we grew up really emphasizing education, doing well in school. It was just assumed, a couple of us went on to get our master's degrees. We really care about it. We're lifelong learners. And I think our schools can do better. And also if we focus more on the core subjects, because those are sliding now, and we're just getting the hyper woke curriculum in the schools, which may actually be detrimental to kids' long-term subconscious, because it's putting ideas in their head that could be confusing to them, or just maybe even disempower them. So I'm very concerned about all of that. And then of course, with that infusion of standing up for the Constitution.
Good. Well, you have all of the right motivations to run, and this is what our founding fathers, what they wanted. I mean, our founding fathers, my uncle Thomas Jefferson, I mentioned sometimes, and others. This is what they really wanted America to be, and it's far, far from it with these lifelong politicians that are all corrupt, being bought and paid for. We need people like you running, that are running for the right reason. And right now, it is literally a life and death issue between the fentanyl deaths and the forced, these forced medical mandates and things like that. All of that combined with their economy and, oh my God, and crime. It's just literally life and death. And these people just don't seem to care about people dying as long as they stay in power. That's what it seems like it comes down to. Right.
Yeah. So I couldn't agree more. You know what really concerned me also was the censorship. Now everybody is being censored. Experts are being censored. Our free speech is just going down the drain. So where are we going? And it might be too late if they actually, keep being able to push that agenda, and then we won't have any voice anymore. I mean, I wasn't able to run a single Google or Facebook ad. Can you believe that, as a candidate? And I think
we talked about that. What was the reason for that? There was something that you said, probably because you said, what was the reason for that?
So it wasn't because of my candidate page at all. It's probably because they know that I'm me, and that I have gotten kicked off of Facebook for sharing legitimate science that's actually on the NIH website. I have gotten kicked off Facebook several times for sharing things like that are legitimate. It's not, misinformation. Yes. And so they probably know it's me, and they just don't want to help me get elected. They think I probably am.
It's dangerous. A badge of honor, though. Congratulations.
Well, it's a badge of honor, but you got to get the word out. So it's just disgusting they're doing that. And I really are looking forward to, thank God Elon Musk bought Twitter, and he's just it's one after the other. I'm going to fight for free. We will be the epicenter for freedom in the world. You're talking to the richest man in the world, one of the biggest geniuses in the world. They're pushing him around. They're mental midgets compared to him. And I really hope he does what he says he's going to do. But we need to bolster our First Amendment rights. We need to bolster our freedoms. They're just running roughshod over our Constitution like it doesn't exist right now. And that has to stop. And that's
crime doesn't exist
on the Constitution. That's one of the considerations.
Yeah, I want to leave a country to my kids that's just as free as the country that I grew up in, and my future grandkids, all the next generations. I think it's on us now to all stand up and fight.
You're right. And we are losing it. It's to get it back there. Oh my God, it's going to take moving a mountain, but we can do it. We can do it.
We will do it.
And we can do it. We just if we lie down and let them take our country, they're just do it. And that's what they thought would happen. It's not happening, but that's what's freaking them out, right? The establishment. So I'm really glad you're on. What can you say to the voters to get the vote out? Because my concern is a lot of Republicans and independents that aren't supporting the left will wait till election day to vote. But please, they got to get out and vote. You can't be like, the weather. I don't have a stomach ache. Go out and vote. If you wait until election day, you better make sure you vote.
There's bathrooms in the polling stations. Don't worry.
That's right. And what I think is that this is a really pivotal election. And, maybe people have always said that, I'm not sure, but it really does seem very pivotal right now, because there are a lot of Democrats that have left the Democrat Party, I was one of them, and I know so many of them. And I think that they're open to new ideas. They're open to new options now. And we've got to just get in there. So, we'll have some of their support. We'll have a lot of independent support because, they're concerned too. And it really could be a red wave. And I really hope that it is. It really could, if we just all have to show up. If we sit this one out, we're going to miss a really prime opportunity.
Yeah, we can't sit it out. We have to, and especially
We can't waste any more time either.
we
So
can't waste any more time. And don't think because it's a lot of people, I think Republicans and independents lose elections because people think, oh, we're never going to get elected, so I'm not going to bother. Not going to bother voting. Go out and vote because this is
and
the
they
time.
want us to think that. The Dems want us to
They
think
want
that
us
too.
to think that. And how dare? What do you think about this idea where they call it a threat to democracy? What more bizarre? How much more bizarre is it that an election where you're democratically electing people is a threat to democracy? Is that not the most like inane?
You can't make it up.
You can't make this shit. It's like, oh,
can't make it up.
practicing democracy is a threat to democracy. Really?
It's like they gaslight. They're such gaslighters. It's insane. They're the ones who censored us, who fired us from our jobs, who blocked us from education, who made us close our businesses. They did all of this, and they're saying that Republicans are a threat to democracy for contesting an election, which everybody does. It's insane.
By the way, it's our right to disagree. What happened on January 6th? They trying to attack. Yeah, there was maybe 100 people that broke with that were way out of line. They're being, it's a very small number of people, and there's a whole lot of controversy around that. But that doesn't mean that for the rest of the 330 million people that you can't question any election. That's totalitarian.
Only the Democrats can. Only the Democrats.
It's your right to question. If it's the government's job to show you the proof that the elections are free and fair, it's not your job to shut up when the government tells you to shut up. You don't like the results. This is just crazy. And they denied for Trump for 4 years, right? For 4 years. Russia. He's not our president. All this, he didn't really win. So what's the difference? It's just crazy.
My president. Yeah.
It's just their angle because they have nothing else to argue except that, the abortion issue, and now some kind of threat to democracy, which is just a bunch of insanity.
Threat to Democrats.
We're a constitutional republic, right? So we're not even a democracy technically. We're a constitutional republic or democratic republic, but democracies are like China and Russia. Those are democracies.
They don't even know. Democrats don't even know what we are. That's how ridiculous they are. They don't even know.
So we have your score just to reinforce the voters share this. This year's incredibly good score, 4.75 out of 5, incredibly strong score, one of the highest on the books at GOUSA.
Wow.
Then you have Robin Kennedy, negative 1.75 out of 5.
Again.
For anti-opportunity score, which means on average, on the vast majority of issues, she's working against the voters and against the Constitution. Those are two disqualifying factors that means that she should get nowhere near office with a score like that. So what do you think about that? I mean, I know you saw that score. Any comments about that? Because this is black and white. We've seen great results when we push this out online. We've seen very, very high positives on this because it's just common sense.
Right. People just need to be aware of what this means and that it exists because it's such a very easy and clear system. I love that you created this.
Well, thank you. And you were there inspiring us along the way and getting this going, especially for the state level in Massachusetts, for the races we scored. So we appreciate your support. And we're hoping the main reason why we did it is to have a clear, common sense score to get people to go and understand that this is just it's just common sense. They need to vote for you unless they really want to screw the Constitution and the people and ignore the Constitution, which has very, very dire consequences. So we thank you again for running, and we're hoping the best. And we got to get the vote out, and we want to be celebrating with you tomorrow when you win. We want to hear about. We'll be tracking it, and as soon as you have any news, I mean, you are in a great position. Do you feel good about the race right now? Does it feel like it's trending your way?
I actually do. I mean, we don't have polls. I'm an independent. I don't have a lot of money, but from the people that I'm talking to, I was out knocking doors all weekend. I've been making phone calls. So many people said, I already voted for you, or I am voting for you. Like, it just really seems like the momentum is just really building. And I mean, it could go either way. I have really no idea, but I have a really good feeling about it.
Okay, good.
And I know my opponent is working very hard. Somebody forwarded me one of her emails, and she's not taking it for granted that she's winning. So I think she probably has polls that are showing her. Yeah.
All right.
So them working hard.
Them working hard. Is that an oxymoron or something? Wow.
Sorry, it just sounded funny.
I thought they just wagged their finger at us all the time and called us racist.
Exactly.
I thought we were insurrectionist and racist. I thought that's all they did.
Yeah.
It's
So
very tiring
That's
to
all
do
they
that.
think
So
they do,
that's work.
that finger, their finger must get tired of all
It
the
hurts. Yes.
It does. They get
Lot of work
sprained
later.
after a while.
They've got carpal tunnel syndrome for all the shaming and finger pointing. You're not a progressive. You're not a communist. You actually want freedom for people. You want freedom of speech. That's hate
You're
speech.
not woke enough.
You're not woke enough. Well, we wish you the best. Get out there. I know you're out there working. Thank you for the time tonight. The goal is just to help you get elected. So anything, we're going to put this up online. If that helps, we're going to put the show up. And I know it's only hours left, but anything you do, get the vote out.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you and everything you've done. I just feel so fortunate to have met you, and let's keep fighting the good fight.
We can fight. It's not ending. So we're gonna let's win tomorrow, and then the fight's only going to get even more crazy as you have to go to battle in Beacon Hill. So
We're with you.
I'm ready.
Right behind you.
all right, perfect. We're with you. Thanks.
All
Lisa.
right. Thanks so much. Okay.
Good
Good
luck.
night, everybody.
All right. So I'm
getting excited, JP.
Lisa is awesome. Lisa's awesome. Another
The
great
enthusiasm, right? I mean, I love these people. These are people you could just invite to the dinner table and have a dinner with. You know, they're just everyday Americans who care.
Yes, and Lisa was debating running, and she just said, "I'm going to go for it." And
Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, thank you.
We're waiting for one gentleman that James Amarella, but it looks like he's not. He might be busy on the campaign trail. So we're going to ask Aaron to join us if Aaron's available. I think Aaron's in the backstage, so we'll have Aaron join us right now. And Aaron, another great patriot, joining us. And Aaron is running for State House in Massachusetts. And can you tell people your what's your specific race?
Hi, Aaron.
Joining us tonight.
Hey, how are you, everybody?
Look at the shirt.
Oh, he's wearing the OpsScore shirt. Grand Opportunity OpsScore. All right.
You know it. Hey,
it.
my OpsScore was my first christening into this race, and I thank you. Right along with Massachusetts Republican Assembly. So I feel very proud of this. Thank you.
Sure. Well, thank you for running.
Yeah, no problem. I am running for state representative in the 3rd Worcester district, which is Fitchburg and Lunenburg precinct B and C1. It's a little odd part. It's I don't know if anybody out there remembers Whalum Park in Lunenburg and hearing it growing up, but that's the area in which I get that little pod. So it's been fun.
Good. Well, tell us how the race is going. I mean, I know that usually there's not like heavy polls for state races, but not even federal races in Massachusetts, to be honest, really. So what is it feeling like to you? And what's your message to the voters? Why should they vote for you over your opponent? And let me pull up your opponent.
Mike Kushmark.
Yeah, that's right. Mike
incumbent.
Kushmark. He looks like a real woke
douche. Sorry.
Mary,
I'm sorry, but that's what they look like.
You know, I reported it in our local paper reported, you know, our race, and you know, I even said to them, he appears to be a nice guy on the surface, but his voting habits have gone totally against all of us. They really have, and along with he and the rest of the Unit Party in Beacon Hill, it's all anti-American. It really is. And they sprinkle little breadcrumbs covered over with the Band-Aids, as mentioned before, and some of the other candidates. It just, example, made an appearance at an elderly center in Lunenburg out in this area, presenting, you know, a nice big whopping $100,000 check or so for the senior center's back patio lounge area. Okay, that's great. I'm happy for the seniors having that relaxation. But don't you think that money could have been used for the upcoming heating issues that we're now encumbering? It really doesn't make sense. And that's the slogan around northern Massachusetts right now, is it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that we need, someone that understands common sense and what the people need, and not these pork projects. And you're right. What do you think about, they're talking about I mean, I actually, believe it or not, I mean, I have a beautiful house with gas heat and 2 different heaters, because I put an addition on. I was all, that I thought that'd be great. Well, now they're talking about heat shortage. Well, I actually got a pellet stove because I don't trust that we're going to have heat this winter. I think we might actually run out. They're talking about rationing. I mean, this is insanity. This is what these people are all responsible for on the left. They're all responsible for this crisis, in addition to all the other stuff they pull with everything else.
Rolling blackouts. How convenient. So close to winter. There's no excuse. Let me take that back off here. It really is no excuse. It's been a plan all along to shut it all down. I mean, you even heard the president, if you will, say no more drilling, no more pumps, no more oil, really? Are you crazy? It's the social democratic ideology that has turned this beautiful state, in which I love. John Paul, I've told you how we both have Revolutionary War ancestors that stood up to answer the Lexington alarm. I had an uncle, if you would have today, he answered that Revolutionary War alarm to protect our freedoms. This central Massachusetts area is the birthplace of revolts and is the heartbeat of where all our freedoms started. So it really is a shame that our state, has gone so socially blue. And it's really the intermediary before communism. And I'm tired of it. My main concern is not me. I'm a working man. I've worked for everybody. I've never owned a business, but I can run a business. I've had managerial spots, you name it. I'm accountability, even from my military days of serving in the Army.
And thank you for your service again.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Is one, the wolf in sheep's clothing are some of the veterans. They think they're good, but they're not. 2 is our children. I'm not backing down against protecting our children and our women who have been, our children and women who have been subject to domestic abuse and assaults. It has to come to an end. The left, Democrat, Socialist Party here have groomed our children, groomed our pockets, and groomed our liberties to their benefits. And it has to come to an end. We need balance. Elon Musk said it best. We need balance.
That's right. And he says he's not, but he's saying vote because we need balance, which makes sense. Even if you're not a Republican.
Conversation.
Yes. Back to that making sense thing.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk unless it's to their liking, their agenda. No, I don't want to hear you.
That's right.
You got it.
All right, so Aaron,
we can't solve any problems.
I'm going to pull your score up before we go to our next. We have more people. We have 2 more coming up the show, and look at that score, man! Look at that score.
Wow-wee.
How could anybody vote for that? That Michael Kushmarek. He's a. They say we're this, we're that, we're anti-democracy, we're what other words? Insurrectionists. Come on, this guy is a far left, hardcore extremist. That's against our Constitution and against the people on the issues, which means he's got to go, and you need to be hired. You need to be elected, and you need to be hired, and he needs to be fired because there's the goods.
Rid of this radicalism. We can't do it anymore with this radicalism.
You need not just a listener, like some of my friends, supporters call me the listener, but it's not just listening. It's paying attention to what is being said.
That's right.
Just like you do with your children. Are you paying attention? Are you paying attention?
So please, before we jump off, thank you again for joining. Thank you for your time tonight. I know you're busy getting the votes out. Please ask your voters to go vote tomorrow. They've got to vote tomorrow.
Absolutely. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your neighbors, grab all the Republican signs you have, the voting stations. Please get out there and vote. Don't sit home. Republicans, independents, soft Democrats, if you're on the fence, please talk to anybody out there. I'm a laid back guy, but I will not back down from our civil liberties under God and this Constitution.
Okay,
Thank you.
well, thank you, Aaron, and thank you for serving our country once in the Army and then now again
Yes.
for the
I
people.
haven't forgotten my oath.
Thank
right.
you for making us feel safe. Another candidate who is stepping up and doing the right thing. Thank you,
And
sir.
go win tomorrow. We'll be following your race closely.
Yes, yes.
All right, take care, brother.
Bye-bye. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
All right, so we have another veteran. Man, we're lining up, and we have Dean Mortilli. We have all veterans on, just like the veterans are the best. We're the best.
They have heard the calling from the American people. Please, somebody from some veterans, please stand up. We need it, and they are. They listen to the call, and here they are running. Thank you guys for doing all this. It's not easy to run, as you know, John Paul.
No. So Sigal Chata is on with us right now, and we had a great talk. Thank you for joining us. And how is the race going? And this again, if you could introduce yourself, Sigal Chata, running for Attorney General in Nevada.
Yep. So I am Sigal Chata, running for AG in Nevada, and it's good to be on. Thank you guys for having me on.
Well,
thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, and we're doing this to get out to get this out to your viewers, to your voters, to everybody that matters, to get them out to vote and vote. Obviously, vote for you. One more day left.
One more
final push. Woo.
Super exciting. It's great.
Good. So, can you tell us? So you're running against an incumbent named Aaron Ford. We did the debate without the candidate with you about a week ago. That guy, man, again, on the cover, he looks like a nice guy, looks like a nice guy. He's a family guy. You open up the book and you see just awful policies. Just terrible.
The devil pops out.
The devil pops out.
Yep. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Very polished politician, but dig a little deeper and you'll see a very woke, progressive justice, catastrophic AG. Really, that's the long and short of it.
Yeah. I mean, he and tell us if you can just say what's the feeling? I know we talked about it a week ago. How does it feel right now? We just had Mark Robertson on. He's in Nevada 1 running for Congress. He feels like looks like the polling has him of like 10, 12 points, which is awesome. Of course, they have to get out to vote. The polling doesn't mean anything if people don't vote. How does it feel right now for you? Just what's your gut telling you? I mean, obviously, getting the vote out is critical. Do you still feel like you're ahead of the game on this, or what do you feel like?
I think we all are ahead in Nevada. I really do. I think that, look, Republicans vote on election day. What we're seeing as far as the numbers is great for us. Down here, both in Clark and in Washoe, which are the two purportedly blue counties in Nevada. And I think, we're all going to do great. I really do. I'm really feeling good about this race. And, and it's not only my sentiment, but I think a lot of people in the party are feeling very positive about, what the campaign that we've run. All of us. It's not only my race. I think the Republican ticket, I always tell people when we're on the road that we are the best Republican ticket that Republicans have seen in a long, long time in the state of Nevada, because most of us on the ticket are private sector people. We are the people, we are the Nevadans that suffered through lockdowns, businesses shut down. Some of us were deemed non-essential. And, and we are truly what the American exceptionalism is about. We took our strife and we said, that's it. We're not going to do this anymore. And we're not going to let anybody do this to us. And, and that's kind of how our ticket is.
Great. And that's what it's looking like. I mean, God willing, there's election integrity. I know there's a lot of eyes on this, so we're going to hope and pray that's the case. But no matter what, you have to, that's more of a reason why to go out and vote. In case there is anything, you got to have extra. You have to have a buffer, right? So you got to make sure people vote. And if you're worried about that, the worst thing to do is like, oh, my vote isn't going to count. So it's the opposite. you got to vote. Make sure you vote because you need a freaking buffer in case it does happen.
And that's why, I tweeted out today, it was early in the morning. We got the numbers from on the GOP side, and it was like only 35% of Nevada Republicans voted up until now. And, and it's very basic. Look, you've spent the past 2.5 years complaining about crime, economy, everything, government corruption, businesses that were shut down, unemployment checks that never showed up. So, you don't get to complain for 2.5 years and then do nothing about it.
Yep.
This
You
is your.
You absolutely don't. So, and that's what I've been telling people all on the road. I was campaigning with Adam Laxalt. I've been campaigning with Joe
Adam's great.
Lombardo.
Gotta get him in there.
Great.
And one thing I'll tell you is that this slate, we genuinely love each other. We have fun. We've been having fun on the road. And it's top to bottom, really. I mean, even our school board candidates, you're seeing first-time candidates. You're seeing the mama bears that would have never in a million years, beyond going to PTA meetings, would have thought to run for public office. And that's what I'm saying. It's like this anger that has festered about our schools, our education, everything. It's just exploded. And you are seeing private sector moms, you're seeing, suburban moms that, all they really wanted to do was do homework with their kids and go to soccer practice. And, they saw what they saw happen 2 years ago and what's going on in schools. And they're like, no way am I going to let this happen? And they've stepped up to the plate like no other. It's amazing to see.
Yes.
It really,
that's why the left is now calling them cockroaches.
it's
It's
unbelievable. And I kind of feel like the more the left antagonizes these mama bears, the worse it is for them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm a mother of 2 kids. You could mess with anything, but don't mess with my kids.
Yep.
You got it.
You got it 100%. 100%. And so, I mean, you have I think the wind right now is moving your direction, but I'm a cautious optimist in the sense that we got to get people out to vote on the issues. And that's why your score that that you earned, excellent score, and look at,
beautiful score,
great score. And look at that versus, I mean, how could anybody vote for Aaron Ford a negative 1.6 versus a 3.8 or so out of 5? I mean, there's no comparison here. You're working provably for the people across the board. We got some really good feedback. We're posting this online, and we got, of course, you got your haters in there. But every time I try to go on, we got thousands of responses. And I was personally trying to go on and saying, no, it's objective. You're working for the people. He's working against them. They go, they'll look under the hood and they disappear. They stopped arguing because they knew they were caught. They knew there was no argument after we showed them the goods.
Open up those reasons. Open up those little stars, and you open up the reasons why we picked that. Why we actually voted that way, or why their score is that way. We're not hiding anything. This is you. You guys did it. You did your own score. You earned it.
They earned their own negative score. It's not because it's biased. It's because they're working against the American people and the Constitution. And Sigal, you're working for them and the Constitution. And also, you're also backed by the Republicans for National Renewal. Great organization.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Phenomenal organization.
Phenomenal. Yeah, we've done some events with those guys. They're great.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you running. I thank you for coming on. I know so you're out there, people are door knocking and everything else for you now, I bet, right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what we have seen, and really, I want to say that this is the Nevada GOP has done an outstanding job. I mean, Glenn Youngkin mentioned, the mama bears. And I want to tell you that the moving force behind the victory in Nevada is going to be the women. The women's groups here, in all 17 counties, men, are they warriors? They are warriors for our ticket, for our slate. I mean, I can't thank them enough. I absolutely can't thank
Mm.
them enough. And they are, Washoe's going to get snow tomorrow. They're going to be driving people to the polls. There's a lot of, senior citizens that don't drive in the snow. So they are doing so much,
Mm.
picking up ballots, doing everything to whatever it takes to flip our state red.
Mhm.
And
That
that's
is-
the women.
God
That
bless
is
them. Yeah.
so great to hear that, and said, and we really need to have, and that's great to hear because on average, the Republicans tend to get a little more male votes and the Democrats a little more on the women's side on average.
Not this time,
Not this
JP.
time.
Not
Not
even.
this time. You're messing with people's kids. You're
Women
messing
are
with health,
running
messing
towards
with
the
their freedom.
Republican Party. Yep.
They're teaching their kids hate in school. I mean, how much more can you piss off women in this country with all that insanity?
Right. And
Yeah.
that's why I said you can mess with anything with a woman. I mean, there's so much that women are willing to tolerate, but you mess with their kids and you're dead on arrival.
That's
And
right.
that's what I've seen.
And there's absolutely, there really is no, there's no reason why anybody could possibly vote for a Democrat. And you're right.
We
Seriously.
thought the Marines and we thought the veterans were keeping us safe. I think it's the mama bears who making me feel even safer.
I tend to agree with you. I mean, whether it's, look, I've told everybody, I've been very vocal about this, that when I'm Attorney General, one of my first moves is going to be to, have Narcan available in all middle schools and all high schools. God forbid, I've been on the road and I've cried with so many mothers that have buried their children to opioid overdoses. And you can't fault a 12 or 13-year-old for something that they do in school, through peer pressure, whatever it is. And, and the support that I've gotten for that is overwhelming because mothers know that there's going to be a woman in the Attorney General's office that will put their kids first.
Yep.
No stigma, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you need to get elected.
Yeah.
So
the
really,
Narcan in the middle schools and high schools, that's great. What a great idea.
It's
sad that we have to do that, but
it is. We've got an open border because of Joe Biden.
Exactly. This is why we have to do this.
This is the best thing that we could do to mitigate and protect our children. And I was very vocal about it in the beginning when I first ran. And, and I got a lot of criticism. Is that, what are you talking about? Why would you put Narcan in schools? Well, you know why? Because we've got an open border and kids have to succumb to peer pressure once in a blue moon. And no mother should bury her child because of that.
That's right.
Agreed.
Thank you once again, the far left progressive Democrats, for opening the borders and killing our kids.
For killing our child.
Because they have political power. And I read a report on this. They basically admitted it. They said they admitted it because there was an analyst on, these Democrat analysts, saying, well, we always projected that Latinos would be Democrats. So effectively you're saying we're going to let them in for, let them in the border. They don't care about the drugs and the crime, the fentanyl, the deaths, and the rapes and the murders and the, all of the human trafficking. They said, oh, they're going to be Democrat voters. Well, they're realizing that it's not exactly that working out that way because a lot of, Latinos are Catholic and Christian, and they've got very strong traditional values, and they're not buying the Democrat crap. So this is just all for power. It's disgusting that they're going to kill your kids.
It's just so vile. It's so vile.
So vile that they'll actually sacrifice your family and your life and your kids' life because they want power and control, and they'll just lie through their teeth about it. It's disgusting. So we need to beat them like a rented mule. Can I say that? Yeah. Seriously, they need to be beaten badly tomorrow because that ideology is just evil. It really
they deserve it.
They do. They do. Top to bottom.
Yep.
We agree. And so you know what? When I say that, I'm speaking for the 80% of Americans that agree because we have the goods to prove it. So it may not seem like me just barking out, I'm mad. I'm actually speaking for the majority of Americans that agree with you, agree with all of us on this program right now. So we really, really thank you for running. It was great doing the show with you. I'm hoping it's helping. I'm hoping that's what we're here for, is to help real Americans and real patriots like you, Sigal, win. And that's we need to do it.
Thank you.
We can't wait to hear the victory party. We're going to be. I'm going to want to hear as soon as you have
to come to Vegas for the victory party.
Huh?
Perfect, JP.
Vegas.
Yes, yes, we want to get out
Celebrate.
there, especially because there's a number of people. Adam Laxalt, we rated him all. We want to get out there and want to celebrate. I'm hoping we do the same thing here in Massachusetts. It's going to be a more of an uphill battle. I can tell you that much.
I mean, it's not. It shouldn't be a hard sell. A weekend in Vegas.
You know.
All right, so we
USA
get it
in
on the
Vegas.
calendar and we'll figure it out. We'll do it.
All right. Thank you guys so
All right.
much.
Thank you for running, Sigal. Thank you for joining us. Get out that vote. Everybody, go out and vote, vote, vote.
Vote, vote, vote.
Everybody you know to vote.
Vote.
Don't let anybody sit home. We've got to win this midterms. We got to get Sigal elected.
Yes, call us. We'll drive you there. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night.
Bye. Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. All right, Mary. So it looks like a couple of people can't join us because they're on the road doing the stuff they got to do to get elected.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to pressure anybody if it's more. If they could be
No.
out there doing what they got to do to get their votes.
We get it.
Lineup though, about 8 or 9, 10 people
Yeah.
joined us tonight, right? All
Right,
over.
and one was better than the next. I mean, I feel so good going into this. I really do.
Yeah,
The people
right?
who are
Yeah.
running are just astounding candidates. They're great. They're really great
From
people.
all over. We have Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado. I mean, we have a really good lineup.
We covered the whole country, JP, in an hour.
So, well, not the whole country, a bunch of states, but we covered a bunch of
Bunch of
states.
states.
These guys are all got great ratings on the OpScore system. So we really want to, we want to see a big win. And we're asking everybody, go to the Go USA website. If you haven't decided who to vote for yet, go here. You scroll down. You can learn about Go USA, and you can click on the button to learn about the learn about the OpScores and get the ratings. You can also donate because we need donations to keep this operation going. You can sign up for the email list. There's a lot of things you can do. So please keep following us. And we're going to be reporting right after the election. We're going to be busy, right, Mary? We're going to be busy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be voting tomorrow. I'll be doing everything we can to keep pushing out these OpScores to over 150 federal races around the country and another 100 state level races. So we worked our butts off. Thank you, Mary, for all the work you did.
Thank you, JP. No, thank you for all the hard work that you did. This is almost 2 years in the making, JP. We met like around 2 years ago, and we have been working so hard for this day coming tomorrow. Obviously, 2024 too, but 2022 is so important. We have worked so hard. We've traveled the country, and just like our last candidate was saying, we love each other. We're family now.
That's right. I couldn't imagine life prior.
Me either.
What was it? What was going on?
Right.
Yes, we have a great family of people, and we all share our love for our country and love for America. And we have some really big news. We're going to wait until we really get it out there. But the Global Bill of Rights, which has got all the things that we need to fortify for our rights on every level, which is way more hardcore in so many ways than we have protections right now from even our U.S. Constitution. So we'll be putting that out, and we're really going to become that FICO credit score system. We're going to be working on getting trackers on every single candidate.
We have to do it.
Every single seated person in Congress.
Yes.
And the top state level races like governor, secretary of state, AG. Our plan is to get trackers on them. And then every month, it's election day. Every month, we're putting out the scores, updating the scores, and just constantly exposing whatever they're doing so that people aren't just hearing about this every 2 years. For a few weeks before the election. It's going to be nonstop pressure to make them do their jobs. And
no more sneak votes in the middle of the night, or no more no-show votes.
Well, if they do it, they're gonna know. Everyone's gonna know, and they're gonna get the shame bell, and everyone's gonna know. And guess what? They're not gonna get elected next time around. That's gonna be the penalty. They're gonna be.
That's how it goes.
Fired. Exactly.
Yep, fired. And that's how it always should have been. That's how it should be.
You play, you pay.
You got it, JP.
You ignore the Constitution, you play, you pay, you're out of a job in 2 years. Bye. And otherwise, if you're not out of a job, if you're bad enough, we're going to ask you to resign. We're not going to wait until you destroy your state or your country. We're going to pressure you to resign early, because you know what? If you're that bad and you're that bad, then you got to go before your term is up. But otherwise, we're going to ask you to resign, and we're going to do it because we're going to have everybody behind us. 80% of Americans aren't going to put up with your shit anymore.
Friday afternoon at 4:30. We're coming at you.
Oh, it's, you know what? Things aren't really working out. Joe Joe, Kamala, things aren't really working out. It's really not a good fit.
Yeah, we're looking to take the country in a different direction than you guys are.
Direction.
Yeah.
No,
And we,
I think this election is we're moving things in a different direction.
Thank
you.
We get it. Yeah.
But you're just
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's just not working out. Bye-bye.
I just want to say it's just not working out. Bye-bye. So we know what we have to do. Let's get through tomorrow because we're not going to, because honestly, I don't want to jinx anything. So I don't want to be overly confident.
No,
but
vote.
How about we have a good bye-bye show?
Okay, bye-bye show.
So, but let's win tomorrow first. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves because
guys, you have to get out and vote, guys.
There's no bye-bye show if you guys don't go out and vote.
We can't say bye-bye if we don't make them go bye-bye.
Right. And then we want to track people. We want to track good people and give them good stars in the refrigerator saying you did good. We don't want to just be constantly saying you people are a bunch of criminals every day. We want good people in there so we can give good scores out as well as bad scores when people do bad.
Your score can go up too, not just down.
That's right. The score is going to start. Actually, what's going to happen, Mary, is that the store, because they haven't started yet, many of the scores are going to be a little bit low, and they're going to have to work their way up to prove themselves.
Even better.
Even better.
You guys wanted this job, so this is you're representing America. Here it is. This is what you have to do.
That's right. If you want to get your score up, you have to do good stuff.
Yeah.
You have to work hard and do good stuff, or that score is just going to be so bad you're going to be replaced in no time.
Yeah. We're just reminding these people what they're actually in office for, because a lot of them forget. So we're just sending out a nice reminder that you work for us.
It's like a little reminder to get that dental appointment, or that little reminder, that little reminder. Oh, by the way, there's a Constitution you swore an oath to. Yeah, that thing called the Constitution you swore an oath to that made America. Okay.
Yeah.
That, needs to be listened to and adhered.
That,
and then also there's going to be a new that when we have the Universal Bill of Rights, because you need the Constitution and human rights. And we're going to define it, since no asshole in the world knows what human rights is. We're going to make it clear what human rights is.
I mean, do we just have to do everything? Like, really?
Yeah, we have to do everything. And then we're going to show, where are you working for the people or against them? It's pretty simple. You serve the people. It's like this. It's like restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you order a steak dinner, and they bring out baked ziti and say, well, I didn't order baked ziti, I ordered steak. Well, this is the far left. No, you're eating the baked ziti because steak is just, it creates emissions.
Steak actually is baked ziti. You ordered the steak. This is what it is.
It is baked ziti. That's even better. You call it. You'd say there must be something wrong with you because you're not
seeing that this
is a steak.
You got it, JP. Exactly. This is a steak, and if you can't see that, you're racist against the steak.
That's right. So the idea is people should be working. They work for us. It's not the other way around.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We're just sending out those reminders.
Yeah, reminders.
Constant reminders.
Your vitamins. Okay.
Yes. Read the Constitution.
And read the Constitution and do your effing jobs, please. Or you're fired.
Thank you. That's all we ask.
That's all we ask.
Nothing big.
All right. So the big thing is I'm voting tomorrow. Mary, did you vote yet? Or are you voting tomorrow?
I am voting tomorrow.
Good. I thought so. We're driving tomorrow. We'll get those votes in. And then we're going to be doing, we might do some live streaming, but realistically, we're going to be going around seeing all the events. And hopefully we'll have.
But you know what? Let's video some stuff. I'll video some stuff from where I am. You video some stuff where you are. And
out there. Okay.
Yep. Totally.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for watching. Again, it's not left or right or red versus blue. It's them versus you. All right. And so rate them on their merits and if they're working for you or not. And as much as most people are going to be voting Republican, that's awesome. Ultimately, you're voting them for Republicans because you're voting for them. We're voting for you and not them. And that's why you got to vote Republican tomorrow.
Yep.
For the most
anything past them.
Lisa Mayer, she's independent. And there might be 2 or 3 Democrats, I don't know, in the country that are palatable, but we know who they are actually. Right?
Palatable.
There's 1 or 2.
Tolerable
because their scores are above a 0. And those people, I think you can consider those. But the Republicans still doing a little better on those races, on the scores. Okay, right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you. Go out and vote.
Don't forget to vote.
Make sure you vote. All right. Get all the friends and family to vote. Vote. We'll see you soon. We'll do another update in 1 week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.